Yesterday, former Panthers quarterback Cam Newton has officially signed a contract for him to become their next quarterback for at least the 2020 season. This is a pretty crazy occurrence. Of course, Cam Newton has been a free agent for at least 3 months now. And it was a pretty big surprise. Of course, he wasn't even expected to be signed before the 2020 season. And so for the Patriots and Bill Belichick to come out of nowhere and pick him up, it's a pretty crazy thing. And for Cam Newton, will he be able to lead the Patriots to another Super Bowl in 2020 is what we're going over here today. And we're also going to be going over my full reaction. Once again, he signed a 1-year deal with the New England Patriots yesterday, and it looks like right now this is going to be a deal based off of incentives. So basically, the max that he could get paid next season is $7.5 million. So yeah, that's a pretty good deal for Cam Newton. Of course, most backup quarterbacks are hardly even paid, and of course, it looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Pats right now. But you still do have Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer in there, so you can't forget about them. It looked like Jarrett Stidham would be the starting quarterback for this team for quite a while. He's been expected to be the quarterback for pretty much this entire offseason ever since Tom Brady left for the Buccaneers. So, in the end, Jarrett Stidham, I think he's a great quarterback. And, of course, another crazy thing that I realized, too, Cam Newton, he's actually from Auburn. As you know, he's an Auburn alumni. Same thing with Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham is a much younger quarterback, at least. Cam Newton's already in his 30s, but Jarrett Stidham, he's at Auburn too, so you got 2 Auburn quarterbacks in New England right now, which is kind of just an odd occurrence. Of course, it really means nothing, but it's just kind of something to think about. But, it's either going to be him or Jarrett Stidham, I would say, to be leading the offense next season. Of course, once again, you got Brian Hoyer, but Brian Hoyer is just, he's not a starting quarterback in my opinion. And, we haven't seen much out of Stidham either. He's probably, who knows if he's going to be able to be good enough to be a starting quarterback anyway, but still, I think Jarrett Stidham, he's going to give Cam Newton a pretty good run. Considering Cam Newton last season, you can't forget that he missed 14 games overall last season. And he had foot surgery actually a few weeks ago, or actually a few months ago. So basically, yeah, he's still in rehab from that. And, it's going to be kind of tough to deal with. And, he was the NFL MVP in the 2015 season. You can't forget about that. He actually had 45 passing touchdowns last season, which is really incredible. I believe that's a Panthers record, and as you know, he also holds most of Carolina's passing records. So the big reason why this baffled me to see Cam Newton be a free agent for as long as he was because of how well he did in 2015. We've seen the upside that Cam Newton really has, and it's just kind of crazy to me to see that Cam Newton has been a free agent for as long as he has. Quite honestly, I think he's got a lot more potential than what people are giving him, and I think for the Patriots to go for him, I shouldn't be surprised. With Bill Belichick, of course, he's got a whole bunch of tricks up his sleeve. But, in the end, for Cam Newton, I think this is a great thing for him. Of course, it didn't look like he's going to get picked up, which honestly really surprised me. I think a lot of teams could use Cam Newton. I can name off several, but, for him to go to the Patriots, it doesn't surprise me, of course, because the Patriots really need a quarterback like Cam Newton right now. And, it's just good to have a veteran at least behind Jarrett Stidham if you do want to go with him full time. So in the end, was this a good pickup for the Patriots? I would say it was. Really, there's not a whole lot of risk in there. You are risking $7.5 million at the max, but that's honestly not all that terrible. But of course, backup quarterbacks are usually not paid that much, so you do got to consider that as well. But in the end, another question: will Newton start before Stidham or Hoyer next season? And honestly, Brian Hoyer, I don't even think he's in the picture at this point. I think Jarrett Stidham and Cam Newton are probably your top picks to be the starting quarterback for the majority of the 2020 season. I'd have to go with Cam Newton, though, right now. I think he's got more experience, and I do think they'll at least start Jarrett Stidham for a couple of games, probably at the beginning of the season. But I think, Cam Newton, in the end, he's a more experienced quarterback. He's had more experience. He's nearly won a Super Bowl. He's made it to a Super Bowl in 2015, and of course he's declined since then, but still, he's a quarterback. If you looked at the 2016 season, going into that 2016 season, he was looking like basically the Patrick Mahomes of the NFL at that point. He was playing extremely well, and it looks like he's going to have a huge breakout 2016 season as well, and it didn't really turn out that way. But in the end, he still has had a great career, and even though he's starting to get older, he is in his 30s now, but he still is definitely, he still has a lot of potential, a lot of upside in my opinion. So I think for Cam Newton to go to the Patriots, especially in a time where you don't have Tom Brady anymore, I think it's going to help the transition a ton for the New England Patriots going into next season. Also brings up the question, will have the chances of a playoff run gone up for the New England Patriots now? And I think it's a tough say right now. I think the Patriots definitely are a team that I think, no matter what next season, no matter whether it's Jarrett Stidham or Cam Newton at quarterback, I think this team is already a playoff contender. I mean, they have been from the start. They have been for several years and decades on end. And I think even though Tom Brady is not in there anymore, I mean, I think this team definitely is still a playoff team. It's just a matter of how good they're going to be. I mean, they should definitely make the playoffs next season. And I think with Cam Newton not being in there, I would say their playoff run chances have gone up. I mean, of course, because now, I mean, Cam Newton, there is a lot more certainty in him than in, for example, Jarrett Stidham. Like, Jarrett Stidham is basically a toss-up right now. No one really knows how he's going to do in the NFL. Like, he has very little experience as an NFL quarterback. And so for Cam Newton, I think that's going to help him a ton in the long run. I think Cam Newton in the end, I think Cam Newton's just going to be a quarterback that probably will start for the majority of the 2020 season. I mean, you heard it here. I think Jarrett Stidham next season is going to be a good quarterback. And once again, I do expect him to start for a little bit at least, for a couple games maybe. But to say that he's going to start full-time just kind of confuses me. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Cam Newton in the end, even though he's kind of injury-prone right now, I think he still does get the job done in the end. I think the Patriots do make a playoff run next season. And once again, if you watch my Patriots predictions, I actually had them, I believe, with a 10-6 record overall. It wouldn't surprise me to see them go 11-5, maybe even 12-4. I mean, 12-4 I'd say is a bit of a push, considering, I mean, there's going to be a big adjustment to this team this next season. But still, I mean, I'd say 12-4 is much more in reach now than it was a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, in the end, once again, I'll have to update my Patriots predictions. But once again, I'd say for Cam Newton, this is a huge pickup for the Patriots. And I still am baffled that Cam Newton has gone this long as a free agent. Once again, I mean, he was the NFL MVP in 2015. I mean, I do understand that was 5 years ago, but it was 5 years ago. That's not all that long of a time. And I know Cam Newton has declined since, and he's gotten injured, and he missed the majority of the 2019 season, but he's still, I mean, if he's able to come back from that injury, I think he's a quarterback that, if healthy, could easily be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, kind of like how he was a few years back. So with that, yeah, that's kind of my reaction on this pick. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below on Cam Newton going to the Patriots, of course. I mean, once again, this is kind of a crazy occurrence. Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham, both being from Auburn, it's just kind of interesting how it all sets up. Pretty crazy. But yeah, once again, in the end, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this. If you enjoyed this analysis, be sure to slap a like on it and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. I'd really appreciate that. But as always, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central, and I will see you all later.